The 5 conventional terminals which will be built alongside other terminals is perhaps what small businesses will be interested in, because such terminals deal with general cargo like iron rods, not suited for container transportation.
The Limbé deep sea port is going to be very, very important, first of all, for the development of the locality where the port is going to be constructed, that is, say, in Limbé, and the development of the hinterlands is going to be very, very instrumental in the job creation. If we take, for example, the case of the port of Douala, we see a lot of companies that are installed in this area simply because the port exists in that area. We're going to have a lot of interconnection with neighboring countries just through this port. So I think the importance of the port of Limbé cannot be underestimated.
The country needs to develop its industrial base and avoid the kind of shortages experienced in 2008, particularly in the provision of foodstuff and competitive products like cement. Government is also seeking to make Limbé a major container hub on the West African coast, which will ensure transshipment and the redistribution of goods. The port's positioning will enhance the sub-regional integration government is supportive of, as corridors will be created between Limbé and Equatorial Guinea and between Limbé and Nigeria.
The development of Limbé port will bring a synergy effect to Kribi port as well as Douala port. I think it should be the first step forward developing your economy, and there are other potentials which you can link the development of Limbé port to industrial zones, and it can be a hub port for deep sea port in this region, so that you can promote your logistics industries, and the people will get many jobs, and the governments will get tax revenues. It is immense to have that kind of a deep sea port.
These facts, however, left people questioning why government is not in a hurry in developing the port.
To the designers, I don't think it's that long. But when we look at the time, we think it is very long. Port construction is not like the construction of, let's say, a house somewhere. There are a lot of things that are involved in port construction, and the world statistics shows that under normal circumstances, the average length of time which is required to construct a port is not less than 4 years. And the port of Limbé, from the planning or from the studies, indicates that the first phase is going to be done by 2015, and that is just about 5.5 years from now. That is from the end of the studies. And if we take, for example, the case of Kribi, which we know quite well, Kribi is going to take, the studies for Kribi was ended in 2005, and the first ship is expected in Kribi by 2013. That is about 8 years. So if we maintain what is thought of in the project or in the report, then it means that by 2035, the port of Limbé is going to be at its full capacity.
Explanations like these are not convincing at all, particularly to job seekers who are anxious to see the project come afloat. So much time was given to scope the subject and its economic implications during the realization of the feasibility study, and each competent authority given the opportunity to lay its case as to the choice of their options to government.
The first thing we have to know is that we don't construct a port to wait for traffic. We identify the traffic to design a port that will handle the traffic, and at each level of development of the port, there's always that need to ensure that there is enough traffic for a profitable operation of the port. So we cannot just get constructing a large port without having the traffic that is going to be passing through the port. And again, port construction is always done in a long term. Port planning is always done in a long term, but the actual realization is done in a medium term. Why? Because it is always necessary at each moment to ensure that there is the enough cargo, and equally there is profitability. But it involves a lot of investment.
Several other projects will sprout in the Limbé area thanks to the port. AFCO Cement Factory, which according to studies will single-handedly provide some 120 direct jobs and 200 indirect, is a shining example. A school to train Cameroonians on modern methods of fishing is also under construction, and progress is visible on the ground already.
It is very, very true that a lot of companies are depending on the construction of this port for its realization. If we take, for example, as you said, the case of AFCO Cement. If you have been in the area for some time, you must have discovered that the equipment for AFCO Cement has been there for over 3 years, and there is actually no operation, simply because there is no port facility to handle the raw materials that they need to transport or that they need to import. So without the port, a lot of things are going to go, a lot of companies who are interested in getting established in Limbé are going to find it extremely difficult. But as you said, if we can have this port come to operation as soon as possible, then this is going to be a very good post for some of these companies, and especially AFCO Cement. But in a worst case scenario, where the planning of this port is not realized as it is, then the project, or we are proposing to start up with a jetty system. A jetty system is simply going to enable the anchoring of the ships carrying or raw materials for the cement factory. We talk of clinkers. So that is the basic or the major material which they need for the cement factory. So if the planning is not respected, now it will be necessary that we start with the jetty system.
At least to keep that port.
At least to keep the cement factory, to let the cement factory go operational.
The Limbé port, to be constructed in the Ngeme area, constitutes part of a single complex extending from Kribi Campo through Limbé to Bakassi. Douala and other structures in this Atlantic coast will become secondary facilities or wharfs, depending on the volume of traffic.
The government has a planning for the development of the Cameroon coastal fringe into a simple port complex. And this complex is going to have as major poles, or 3 major poles, which are Kribi, Douala and Limbé. Now, if the coastal fringe of Cameroon is to be developed under these major port poles, then it means that the port of Tico, or say Bota, or the other small harbors that exist already are going to serve like feeder port to the major port. So if again the destination permits the anchoring of the ships that will passing through the Limbé major port, let me put it that way, then it will be possible for cargo to leave Tico for Limbé before getting to the destination. But if the destination of the goods does not permit the anchoring of very large boats because of lack of port facilities, then it will be necessary to still get cargo leave Tico to their various destinations without passing through Limbé. Because even in Bakassi, we are having a plan for the development of Bakassi. I mean, the government has a plan for the development of Bakassi. And one of the key issues for the development of Bakassi is first the existence of a port in that area, and the port of Limbé is going to be very, very instrumental in the development of Bakassi. Because if we just maybe get a kind of a small wharf in Bakassi, is going to be like a small wharf in Tico. And now, given the resources that exist in this area, they will move either to Limbé before their transportation, or if necessary, they can just go to their destination, provided there is that facility to accept.